within our mandate, the ECB is ready to do whatever it takes to preserve the euro. And believe me, it will be enough.
That was ECB President Mario Draghi this morning, and that whatever it takes comment, that really got the market's attention. That sparked a global rally across asset classes. What did he really mean by that? How much did he mean? Is he really prepared to back it up? Because that's what the markets are going to test him on, I guarantee it. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Markets Hub. I am Paul Vigna, joined today in London by Mr. Charles Forelle, who covers everything out of Europe, and he does it very well. Charles, how are you?
Paul, it's great to be back.
All right, here's my first question. Yeah, we haven't seen you in a while. You've probably been out in the field. Here's my first question. Mario Draghi said the ECB will do whatever it takes. Was that real or was that rhetoric?
Well, you know, it is rhetoric, but it's important rhetoric because everybody is sitting and waiting to see whether the ECB is going to do something, is going to act, is going to do what policymakers, the government policymakers have so far failed to do, which is to provide affordable borrowing costs and a depth of liquidity to Italy and Spain. Now, the key phrase in that quote that caught the attention of the world, the quote heard around the world, is probably within our mandate. And that is going to be the subject of a lot of discussion inside the ECB and out. You know, he's certainly saying that there are confines to what he can do. He can do a lot, but he has to abide by the mandate. The mandate, as everybody knows at this point, is inflation and price stability. So it's going to require some gymnastics for him to take gigantic steps, but he's certainly signaling that he's willing to do something.
Right. And, you know, that last part of it, too, and seeing the quote, seeing the video is different from reading it. That last part, too, where he says, believe me, it will be enough. The way he almost is, he's kind of laughing. He's like, believe me, it will be enough. You know, I can just hear the short sellers, the bears, I can hear the market doubters getting ready to test him on that. Will it be enough?
I mean, indeed. Look, the trick with the ECB is the ECB does, of course, have a bottomless pit of money. It can print, it can do a lot of things that a central bank can do if the mandate allows it to do it. Now, the mandate is a very fluid concept, and the question is going to be just how strictly will they interpret it? Will they interpret it in a Germanic fashion? The Germans are saying, the prohibition on monetary financing is ironclad. You cannot finance governments, end of story. And there are others who say, well, you know, we sort of can if we say that it's part of our job to control inflation. If that involves some quantitative easing or something else, maybe we can do it. Yeah. So there will be a lot of discussion about what that means.
Okay, he did say, okay, he said whatever it takes. Did he detail anything that the ECB might be thinking? Did he give any detail?
No, we don't have any detail on what the ECB might be thinking, and that is also another key question is, you know, to what extent does the ECB act on its own? To what extent does it want to, in a sense, partner with the European Bailout Fund to make the European Bailout Fund a lot bigger and more capable of action? If what he means by within our mandate, do whatever it takes, is to do what he has been doing, what the ECB has been doing, which is making small, targeted purchases of government debt at infrequent and inconsistent times, that has not been sufficient. If that's what he means, that he's going to restart that program, the securities market program, you know, that's not going to be enough in the eyes of most people in the market. So it's still up in the air.
Yeah. Now, let's also, he really kind of talked up the last EU summit. It was the late June summit. He really talked it up. He said it was a success. He said that the bureaucrats got it, that they understand. He also said that they're moving towards this idea of giving up some of their sovereignty for a wider Europe. Do you really think that? I mean, does the market doesn't seem to believe that that's what really came out of that summit?
It's going to be difficult for that to happen in the near term, given the political pressures inside Europe, the intense opposition, particularly in Germany, to handing over sovereignty. You know, the Germans have elections next year. The question of whether that coalition, Merkel's coalition, could survive some sort of grand fiscal transfer union is very much an open question. There are plenty of people who think that it certainly could not. So, you know, while he is saying that they are ready to move forward, it's less clear that they are ready to move forward.
Right, but this did spark a rally. Let's talk about that rally for a second, because it was widely across asset classes, wasn't it?
everywhere. I mean, stock markets by and large are positive. There's a sort of big risk-on move towards equities. The huge changes in Italian and Spanish bond yields. The Italian and Spanish yields, last I checked, are both on the 10-year, both down about 40 basis points. The
Right.
euro up about 1.5%. The sterling along for the ride up about the same amount. The moves in Italian and Spanish bonds are extremely significant. Let's be realistic, though. The Spanish 10-year bond is still at about 7%. So it's not like everybody's saying, okay, crisis is done. We can all go and watch Olympic handball now. There's a lot more that needs to happen. But this did serve to essentially take the point off of what had been a very, very jarring last couple of days, where you saw Spanish and Italian yields just head through the roof and cause serious worry.
Yeah, and you can see we just had a chart, Charles, I don't think you can see it, but the Dow up about 200 points now, was up 250. So the equity markets, they're rallying, obviously, but I'm wondering how long this is going to last, really. Because to me, this just smacks of short covering. That the shorts got caught unawares and they're covering.
Look, it's August. There's a huge amount of volatility. People are up and down on, whispers out of Spain and speeches by Draghi. The Dow is up 200 points today. The Dow was off 200 points a couple of days ago on something out of Europe. So Things are moving up, things are moving down. There are a lot of big swings in both directions.
Yeah.